And what happens when boys are faced with challenges such as divorce, depression, violence, and so on? These are questions I have studied and will address in this book. I believe that most of us are at a disadvantage when we talk about boys because our view of boys is so influenced and distorted by society's myths about them. Over the years, 1,000 models of boyhood have accumulated and become melded into an all-purpose stereotype. A myth has been created of the young boy as the rascal and the scamp, the mischievous lad who loves to run and be loud, whose pockets are filled with junk that he considers treasure, with a frisky puppy as his constant companion. He considers girls to be yucky. He likes to go fishing and ride a bike. The mythical teenage boy is obsessed with himself, sports, cars, sex, and, above all, being cool. He's tough. He breaks the rules. He talks back to his teachers. He would rather hang out with his hip friends than spend time with his dorky family. Yet, if you know boys, are a parent or teacher of boys, you know in your heart that these stereotypes are false and limiting, as all stereotypes are. Even so, the power of these stereotypes and the myths that perpetuate them are bound to be profoundly affecting the boys you know and your relationships with them. They are hindering the development of boys, our raising of them, and a boy's ability to function at his best. These myths start to fade in the light of emerging new information about boys, but much of this knowledge is unknown outside academic circles. I will show that while there is often a grain of truth in myths about boys, which is why these myths have endured, the full truth is more complex and considerably more positive. Real Boys is based on my 20 years of working with and thinking about men and boys as co-director of the Center for Men at McLean Hospital, a faculty member of the Harvard Medical School, and a fellow and founding member of the Society for the Psychological Study of Men and Masculinity of the American Psychological Association. Much of this book is derived from my recent study called Listening to Boys' Voices, in which research colleagues at Harvard Medical School and I are studying hundreds of young and adolescent boys, observing them in various situations, conducting empirical testing, and talking with their parents. This study is intended to gather critical data relating to the new psychology of today's boys and to evoke their candid responses to a broad range of questions regarding not only their everyday experiences at home, at school, and with friends, but also to reveal the true depth and complexity of their inner emotional lives as boys. The findings of Listening to Boys' Voices added new evidence to support my experience as a psychologist and my belief that many boys are deeply troubled. The picture becomes more alarming when one considers the findings of the study in light of other statistics that are now surfacing. Consider the following. In the educational system, boys are now twice as likely as girls to be labeled as learning disabled, constitute up to 67% of our special education classes, and in some school systems are up to 10 times more likely to be diagnosed with a serious emotional disorder, most especially attention deficit disorder, for which many boys receive potent medications with potentially serious side effects. While the significant gaps in girls' science and math achievement are improving greatly, boys' scores on reading are lagging behind significantly and continue to show little improvement. Recent studies also show that not only is boys' self-esteem more fragile than that of girls, and that boys' confidence as learners is impaired, but also that boys are substantially more likely to endure disciplinary problems, be suspended from classes, or actually drop out from school entirely. Boys are experiencing serious trouble outside school.